Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. In this video, I'm test running the live stream for YouTube. This happens to be my first live stream, so I'm pretty much going to be distracted by my screen, looking out for whoever it is that is joining this very live stream. And as you can see on the channel, what we share and do is basically talk about hard questions that have to do with faith. People, who have a lot of controversial thoughts as regarding God, as regarding faith, as regarding religion, and everything in between. Talking about hard questions really that people ask about God, about Christianity, because this channel is, as it is called, Christian Talks, talks about Christian related, stories and content. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about good God, evil world. Is it possible to have a good God that created an evil world? Because if you are not an alien and you live in the earth, you are definitely going to be seeing a lot of evil happening, and the days are getting darker. Wickedness is seemingly on the rise. And the question is in the hearts of many people: can a good God create an evil world, or does a good God create an evil world? Well, I think the first question, or the first thing I want to share with you is, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by a good God creating an evil world? Do you mean that the people around you do not represent the good God accurately? Is it about the God or about the evil? What really is in your heart when you ask such question? What comes to your mind? Is God good and his intention was to just create an evil world? Do you think that God is good and in his goodness he created an evil world? Or do you think that because of the evil that you see in the world makes that God is evil? And the only thought coming to my mind right now is, have you ever seen a mother or a parent give birth to a child with the intention that the child is evil, with the intention that that child becomes evil, or that child turns out bad, or that child turns out as someone who society would tag as evil? I don't think that is the case with any good intending parent. And so it is with God. I believe that God had the intention, or has the intention, of creating a world that is good, a world that is not evil. And if that is the case with God, then, or if that is the case with man, our Bible as Christians tells us that, can a child ask his father for bread and be given stone, or for fish and be given snake? It's not possible. So if you having evil intentions or being wicked can give good gifts to your children, how much more God in heaven? So it looks to me like God will not create an evil world if a human will not create an evil child. Or if the day you gave birth to that child, you saw everything beautiful in that child, you saw everything loving and lovely in that child. That's the first thought I want to leave you with. Sorry if you're hearing background noise. I just hope that this live stream is, perfect. This is my first try. I hope that you like it. If you really like it, don't forget to subscribe. If you have questions to ask, please drop your comment. If you have answers to these questions as well, kindly suggest them. Second thought: have you ever seen a bad manufacturer of a Porsche? Or have you ever seen a bad manufacturer of a Ferrari? Have you ever seen a bad manufacturer of a Lamborghini? That question seems awkward. That question feels wrong. Like, how can a manufacturer of such beautiful cars be bad? How can Do you get the point? It's the fact that you are seeing those creation and they are so good in themselves that you cannot attribute that um, that state of being bad to the creator. Now, I have a question. Have you seen drivers who drive these cars and they are bad drivers? Does it make that the creation, which is the car, is bad. It doesn't make it bad necessarily. Does that also make the producer or the manufacturer of these cars bad? It doesn't make them bad. Now, this is where I'm trying to drive home my point, or this is a point I'm trying to drive home, that number one, you have a Ferrari producer or manufacturing company, you have a Porsche or Lamborghini production or manufacturing company. These companies are good companies because they create good cars. They create probably one of the best cars, or luxury cars or fast cars in the earth, and people love it. I would like to have one in my lifetime and in the future. But the point is, in this same scenario, you have a creator, you have a manufacturer, you have a product, and in that product, it is made beautiful. There is obviously going to be quality test, quality control, testing of the brakes, testing of the tires, testing of everything that has to do with that car before it is released into the world. And these thoughts, or this very statement I made, just reminds me of the part in creation where God said, this is good. He created everything in the world and he looked at it and said, this is good. God saw the world. God saw everything he created and said, this is good. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say every creator creates everything he creates with the right intention, that it comes out good and doesn't come out evil. So with these 2 points, I hope I've been able to establish that every creator in themselves does not carry a desire to create an evil, you know, um, product, an evil child, or an evil seed, or an evil creation. That is not God. That is not, the intentional idea behind every creator. I am creating this video for good, right? I'm creating this video as a creator for better and not for evil. And you cannot see this video and say that, or probably somebody uses this video in a way that is wrong, or takes this video in a way and the narratives behind it in a way that is false, and attributes me, the creator, to become or to being evil. So I cannot be evil if I'm putting out something that is good. The problem comes when in that Ferrari, a driver comes into that car to drive and then drives recklessly. When a driver enters a Lamborghini and drives recklessly, or a Bugatti and drives recklessly, what happens is that you shouldn't blame the car or the product. So the world is not evil in itself. You shouldn't blame, the producer or the manufacturer of that vehicle also, because it is not evil in itself, right? These productions come from a positive, or a place that is of good intention, of goodwill. But a driver who comes in and drives that car in a wrong way, in a reckless way, has the potential of killing people, has the potential of destroying lives and properties. And you cannot wake up one day and say, oh, the manufacturers of Lamborghini, the manufacturers of Bugatti or Porsche, or Ferrari, are evil, or are bad, or are, have bad intentions for the world. That is not the case. You should blame the driver. So when you see evil happening in the world, the people responsible for that evil shouldn't be, the creator or the manufacturer. Rather, you should question the driver of that car. You should question the driver of that vehicle. And so, with these few thoughts, I hope you've been able to figure out that the problem of the world is not God. The problem of evil in the world has nothing to do with God in himself, except for the place where God made man to have free will. So man has free will, and so in man's free will, man found a way or choose to do evil. And so you cannot, by the yardstick or the decision man took to do evil, attribute evil to God. I don't think that it's fair on God. I don't think it's fair on logic or reasoning, based on some of the examples I've given in the few minutes before this point, that you cannot blame the decision of a man on God. You cannot blame evil on God, for God gave man free will, and man chooses to do either good or evil in the world that God created. So, first thoughts: a pregnant woman cannot give birth to a child that she would say is evil, or people will just say, have you seen a baby and you just say this baby is evil? Have you ever seen a child just being born or giving birth today and everybody around just calls that child evil? It doesn't happen. A manufacturer of a car cannot create or produce a car that is evil, right? They cannot produce a car that the intention is evil. I'm not saying that there are no creators or people who create things that are wicked or that are evil. There are people who exist like that. The point, however, is that their intention and their free will has already been poisoned to be evil. But that is not the nature of God. So a world, or a car whose producer created it for good, for luxury. This statement just reminds me of when, the Bible in Revelations talks about God created all things and they were created for good, right? They are and were created for his pleasure. So everything God created was for his pleasure. I wouldn't destroy what gives me pleasure. I wouldn't, bring down what gives me pleasure. So why would I wake up and say I'm going to make an evil world? It doesn't make sense. So the person you should look out for is who uses the car, who is in the world, who are the people, that partake of God's creation. The question should go to man. The question should go to man. And that's why there are instituted authorities that control or seek to enforce law and order in society. Why do the police, why is the police in existence? To curtail and control evil. So God is a good God. The problem probably is with our definition of what good is, probably with our definition of what um, evil is, probably with our definition of how we perceive the man God created and the God that created the man. So, with these few points of mine, I believe strongly that you watching this, interestingly, I haven't seen a view on this very video. Probably somebody viewed when I was looking at the camera, but this is the experience, and I think I love live streaming. If you happen to see this video, drop your comment. I'll always read them. I would like to be coming live more frequently, to share my thoughts as it regards faith. I've been doing a lot of reaction videos, but I feel that it's beyond the reaction videos. I should be able to come online, read your comments, read your question, read your chats, and tell you, give you the answers according to the knowledge that I have. I do not know everything. I'm still learning, but I can actually tell you that literally everything I have said here, I didn't read for it. Um I didn't go through some books for it. These were things that came by wisdom as I sat down to shoot this video. I didn't organize this live stream. I just said, let me give it a try. I just put up my camera, set up my lights and everything. And I think that probably I said a lot of things in a way that as a newbie in this live streaming thing, I felt a bit nervous, but I'm not shy for the camera actually. Just felt a bit nervous. But takeaway points: number one, God is good. Number two, if God is good, He cannot create an evil world. And how we know that God is good and He cannot create an evil world is in the fact that in the creation He created man, and man in himself is not evil. Man in himself gives birth to a child or a seed and cannot in that day call that child or seed evil. Something happens along the line. It is either that child out of free will, we're not, because we're not even ignorant of the devil, that the devil has his influence. It is either the child. So let's not leave. I forgot to mention that the devil has his influence in the earth. So we cannot talk about God and forget that there is a devil who was thrown down and has his influence. So a child has the free will that can be influenced by the devil, and that is where evil really, really, really begins to come from. Thirdly, a manufacturer of a product who intended for that product to be used for good could not have created that product for evil. right? Because he would lose out on business, he would lose out on profits. And if that is the case, I use an example of drivers or cars rather, Porsche, Ferrari, Lamborghini, Bugatti, and all of the cars like that, luxury cars. Those companies created those cars for good. And if the companies created those cars for good, then where did it go wrong? Or where can it go wrong? Where does it go wrong? It goes wrong with listing the drivers of such cars. So if the world is God's product, which is the car God created, for instance, and we humans in the world are the drivers of that car, then the question should not be on the creator. And I'm not saying that there are no creators in the human sense of things that create things that are wrong or that are faulty. But from the look of things, the world was created by a perfect God. And even if error happens in the place of production, they are usually fixed by the producer. So this is me saying that men are not totally infallible in themselves. A man can create a a production vehicle, or sorry, a man can a manufacturer can create a batch of products like pharmacists. I'm a pharmacist. We can sometimes make an error, very rarely make an error in producing a set of medications. Once that happens, everything is called back. Everything has a callback. And I'll finish this by saying that in the creation, if you ever want to say God made an error and made the world evil, or the world is evil because there was an error in God's creation, I dare say to you that He has fixed it. Like if that is you thinking God has made an error in the world, I dare say to you that it has been fixed. How has it been fixed? By the man Jesus. God had to bring a plan to fix the world. He had to bring the person of Jesus to restore the world back to its original state. So if you believe in Jesus, then you are living in a world that is good, that is perfect, and every good and perfect gift comes from God. So stop the blame game on God. Ask yourself, am I driving this car the right way? Am I doing something that if someone looks at me will think that God is evil? Or am I representing God properly on the earth? Thank you for watching. I really love that you've watched to this point, and I think I love this video myself, being the first live stream. I believe that there's going to be a time when I'll be doing live streams and tens of thousands and millions of people are going to watch. This is number one. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.